The future of anarchism will not be heralded by some brilliant economic treatise or some magnificent logical discovery that blows people away and encourages more people to join the ranks of anarchism. No, the future of anarchism will be heralded by the deep interpersonal connections that we have with other people. It will be brought about by the understanding that our relationships are inherently anarchistic. And if we develop those relationships and expand those relationships and embrace those relationships, we will get in closer touch with our anarchistic selves, and we will get more people involved in anarchism as a result of that. Don't get me wrong, the logical, the economic, and the moral aspects of anarchism have worked brilliantly and wondrously to get more people involved in anarchism in the past. But now anarchists are treading new ground. We are starting to trailblaze this new path for the philosophy and the doctrines of anarchism. And this new path is suggestive of the fact that our relationships and connections with people will be necessary and sufficient to get people involved in anarchism and getting them thinking along the lines that they do not need a ruler. And this is not to say that the logical and economic truths are useless or will be less useful in the future. I think they will be very important to bringing still more people into anarchism. But we're learning that being softer and being more approachable to people is also helping the cause of anarchism. It's allowing people to learn about emotional anarchism, about how emotions play into the life of intuition and how this intuition brings about the droplets that are going to grow into the complete wellspring of anarchism. And we can see that there are already several major influential anarchists that are moving in this direction, that have an understanding that this new second wave of anarchism is going to work, and it's going to work profoundly in getting more people involved in the philosophy. Look at my friends Derek Bros and John Vives working on this holistic and spiritual aspect of anarchism, and seeing how it brings a certain group or certain class of individuals into the fray. You know, they talk a lot about this idea of shamanism and how shamanism is basically a form of religious anarchism insofar that it looks at the natural world and sort of the orgiastic and wild state of nature, and how this state of nature can be wielded and looked at from a medicinal point of view from the shaman in order to help people and to figure things out. And then you have individuals like Danilo and Shane, who recently made a video talking about the importance of the relational aspects of anarchism, how the interconnectedness between human beings will really cause the paradigm shift to break away and for more people to get involved in our brilliant, beautiful Velveteen philosophy. And even individuals who have already been involved in the psychology of anarchism, like Larkin Rose, are starting to look even more at the individual person-to-person elements that are involved and necessary for getting more people involved in anarchism. Here's the thing with the past, with how we've envisioned this thin libertarianism or this thin anarchism as being strictly based on proprietarian rights or strictly based on the non-aggression principle, and all those things are great. But now we have an understanding that there's something that comes even prior to all of that, and that's these deep connections, this empathy and attunement that we can have for other people, that creates a ripe scenario for the bursting forth of a new kind of anarchism. It's an emotional anarchism, an emotional valence that allows for the creation of this new type, this new kind of understanding that rulers are not necessary or needed in society. And it is absolutely a wonderful and beautiful thing. So this is my vision, and this is where my own philosophy of relational anarchism is headed. And now there are some individuals who do embrace this idea of thin libertarianism or thin anarchism, that it's only the logical, economic, and moral domains that matter for teaching people about anarchism. But that is completely staying boxed in to one frame of reference about how anarchism should work. But anarchism is also a fluid philosophy that is amenable to new approaches and new ways of looking at and considering the philosophy. So, in this sense, relational anarchism, holistic anarchism, is not a thickening agent of the philosophy at all. It is thickening can only occur when you're living within inside the framework or the box of proprietarian ethics and anarcho-capitalism. No, this is something well beyond that. It is a new iteration itself. It's a new creation. It's something that's bursting from the womb of culture and society. It is the paradigm shift that I think is going to really gain some ground in getting even more people involved in anarchism. Here's one of the problems that I've seen with just using the logic, economic, and moral functions of trying to get more people involved in anarchism. There is a book I read recently by the name of The Righteous Mind, written by Jonathan Haidt. And one of his ideas is that moral considerations are not based usually upon strategic reasoning. They're based on moral emotions, moral intuitions. It's what he refers to it as, this intuitionism model of moral reasoning. And usually people won't try to discover new moral philosophies or new moral understandings about how society functions until they have an emotional intuition that this position is correct. So if we can connect with people as anarchists, if we can use what the psychologists refer to as social modeling, activate the mirror neuron systems in people, we can bring them over to anarchism by the way that we lead, by the way that we express ourselves, by the way that we embrace the poetics and the aesthetics of anarchism. And this is what's going to spur the paradigm shift, create the new society that we want to create. And I see it as being instrumental in the future for the development and the growth of anarchism. And I want to thank all of you guys for taking the time to watch my video. If you thought I brought value to the table, please subscribe in the low bar below. Leave any kind of comments on your thoughts on this. But I think the future is fucking bright and brilliant, and anarchists are leading the way. And I think things are going to change a lot faster than we may have previously thought.